The biggest threat to an enterprise brand today is no longer what people are saying on the evening news. It is exactly what Google returns when a customer searches your name right now. To understand how a trap like this functions mechanically, we have to look at the data analysis compiled by Terakeet. Navient spent over a decade building a billion-dollar footprint in the student loan market. Today, that foundation is cracking under consecutive earnings misses. Since the federal loan ban in September 2024, Navient's stock has dropped 53%. That descent wiped $854 million in market capitalization off the board. Read the analyst reports and you'll find a standard set of explanations for the drop. They point to rising delinquencies, write-downs, and higher borrowing costs as the company tries to pivot. But those ledger entries are only symptoms of an underlying disease. There is an unmeasured hemorrhage actively killing their customer acquisition pipeline at the source, a completely toxic digital search reputation. When potential borrowers search for Navient, the front page of Google immediately serves up damaging content about regulatory actions and federal bans. This creates a severe choke point exactly where new business is supposed to begin. Traditional media, bad press fades as the news cycle moves on. In the modern search ecosystem, negativity is captured, stored, and repeatedly surfaced. Standard public relations and search engine optimization rely on waiting out the storm or pushing out fresh press releases. Those tactics fail here because the search algorithm is structurally designed to prioritize the company's most heavily reported historical failures. Navient spent a decade building brand recognition. Now, because of how search engines retrieve information, that exact legacy actively works against them in an unending loop. Beyond traditional search links, there is a newer, more aggressive barrier standing between the company and its customers: generative AI summaries. These appear at the exact moment a borrower makes a purchasing decision. If a user asks Google if Navient offers student loans, the AI overview flatly states that the company no longer issues private student loans, describing them instead as a mere comparison marketplace. That is factually incorrect. These AI errors act as a digital brick wall. They misdirect high-intent buyers to competing lenders, leaving Navient with an applicant pool skewed toward higher-risk borrowers who have fewer financial options. Digital search now functions as a volatile piece of corporate infrastructure. Leaving it unmanaged creates a structural risk that requires immediate strategy from the C-suite. Right now, the company is caught in a self-sustaining downward spiral. Damaging search results drive away testers, which leads to disappointing quarterly earnings. Those earnings misses generate more negative press, which the AI then digests and regurgitates to the next wave of searchers. Unless leadership takes targeted action to break this cycle, operating margins will continue to contract, long-term credit risks will rise, and eventually activist investors will step in to force executive turnover. Correcting this requires a new operational playbook, one that treats search engines with the same rigor as regulatory compliance or financial auditing. First, executives need to comprehensively audit their digital landscape. They have to inventory exactly where the brand is mentioned across Google's index and pinpoint the specific data sources feeding these AI hallucinations. Next, they must build a digital moat. This means activating and publishing highly controlled, managed digital assets that push factual information to the top of the search index, establishing a resilient barrier against negative coverage. Finally, they must implement an always-on threat detection system. Because generative AI models constantly update, leadership needs continuous monitoring to catch and correct new hallucinations the moment they form. By managing generative search as critical corporate infrastructure, legacy brands can seal the financial hemorrhage and recapture the customer demand they spent decades building. To see exactly how these vulnerabilities function and learn the specific strategies required to fix them, read the full analysis at Terakeet.com. In a search-driven market, you cannot simply wait out a crisis. You have to engineer your way out of it.